The date is February 9th, 2024. The time is 4:33. And I would like to call the Personnel Committee meeting for the Frederick County School Board to order. Okay. We have an agenda before us. Do I have a motion for approval?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
I second it.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. I would like now to pass over to Dr. Hummer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. We have quite a few items that we would like to share with you this evening. We are going to start off with a Personnel Committee overview. We will then be providing you all with some staffing updates. We're also going to be sharing some alarming information with you in regards to our turnover rate. I think that's very important for us to discuss, bring to your attention. We also have some HR department reorganization information that we want to bring to your attention as well. We also want to share with you our new awards and recognitions program. This is something that I think will hopefully help our turnover rate and some things that we would like to do differently. So we're going to share with you some information on that. And then we have some policies that we want to bring to your attention as well. So all of this information, Mr. Chair, is for information except for the policy updates, which we are recommending we bring to the full board for approval. So at the end of this meeting, we'll be asking the committee to do that. So with that, I will now hand it over to Mrs. Frakely, and thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at 4:30 on a Friday. This is dedication to as school board members and staff, so certainly welcome to the first Personnel Committee meeting that we're holding with new board members. So thank you for your service. We are going to kick things off with Personnel Committee overview, just given that this is our first time meeting together. And other committees have seen this similar information as well. So just some sort of ground rules, co-creating our relationship as board members and those people that give you this information. We ask that, committee presentations are previewed in advance with the committee chairperson prior to posting in board docs. So we had a great meeting with Chairman Funes earlier in the week. So once we do that, so that we can give him a preview of what's expected and work through any edits or suggestions or feedback, then we post that in board docs, and that presentation is available for all of you well in advance of the meeting so that you guys can come prepared, ask us any questions, and have an expectation of what we're going to be talking about. We ask that during these meetings and our time together, you stick to the agenda so that we don't get too far off topic. We can certainly bring forward other agenda items that you wish to speak about or learn more about in future meetings. And questions that need additional information, we can take those down for you in our meeting and then work with staff to address them at a future meeting at the very next scheduled meeting. So we'll have confidence that those will be answered in a timely fashion. Should you have any questions regarding the business of the Personnel Committee, please email or call, I should say, myself along with Dr. Hummer and the chairman copied if you're emailing, so everybody's in the loop on that. Of course, meetings times, scheduled meetings are subject to change given any kind of extenuating circumstance. And this one is a pretty big picture item, but just keeping in mind that we understand that you guys represent the magisterial districts that you were elected from to sit on the school board, but the decisions that you are making impact the division as a whole. So just keep that in mind when you hear this information. Any questions? Does that sound good? Great, perfect. Okay, so we like to start our Personnel Committee meetings off with our staffing updates. So we give you information, recurring information. You'll see these at the top of every Personnel Committee meeting. And if you'd like to add any data points, we can work towards that or see the information differently. I would absolutely love your feedback on that. But what I normally do is I present this data, give you guys a chance to look at it, and ask any questions as we go through slide by slide. So feel free to jump in with anything. Don't worry about holding any questions to the end. We want to address it as it comes up. So otherwise, this is just for your information right now as we're presenting.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes?
Would it be possible to break out the middle and high as to which subject areas that they were missing? It doesn't have to be tonight.
Tell me if this helps you. Look here, the next one.
Go back.
Wait, sorry, did I miss it?
Did I put the cart before the horse? I'm sorry. I'll bring
That
the
was
cart
a great
back.
suggestion. It was a great segue. So if
See
there,
that?
Solved it that quick.
We're simpatico.
right. Did you see how quick we were able to deliver on that request?
Serendipitous.
Yes. Okay, so if you need more time with the last slide, let me know. Otherwise,
I
this is
apologize. I'm
teacher vacancy by content area. So understanding that this is the first time you all are seeing this, unless you watched any previous personnel committee meetings before you joined the board, this is pretty in line with what we've been seeing from committee meeting to committee meeting. So our numbers remain the same at the top. Special education and elementary classrooms lead our total vacancies by content.
If I may.
Yeah.
I noticed the special education content area is obviously the largest. Have there been any ideas, I mean, floated around or like, I mean, I'm a content area teacher.
Right.
So I know, and history, so we're a dime a dozen, but special ed is obviously one of the most challenging.
Absolutely. And we've been talking about what we can do to incentivize, whether that's through retention bonuses, recruitment bonuses, things where we're getting into those, what's the word I'm looking for? We literally just spent an hour talking about it. It's not high needs. It's hard to fill, excuse me. Hard to fill positions. So we are absolutely laser focused in on special education because, like I said, this is a recurring theme.
I didn't know if maybe you went into the high, or if you could, there's just a suggestion, go into the high schools and when juniors and seniors looking for a career path if they're teaching, maybe offer incentives for them to choose special ed by helping out with tuition. And obviously that's a bigger issue with the budget and everything. I didn't know if that was a possibility.
We're open to any and all possibilities. So we could, did you want to mention that? Go ahead.
We actually have, and we're continuing to expand it, but we do have a Grow Your Own program that we're participating in through JMU and Laurel Ridge, and that does target
Right.
special education.
It does.
So we're trying to expand that to other areas
See,
as
again,
well.
simpatico.
You what?
Again, simpatico.
We're already lockstep. Okay, perfect.
Can I add something?
Absolutely, please.
Thank you for your question. One of the other things I'd like to add is that some of our schools, we have long-term substitutes as well who may have a bachelor's degree, who are interested in being a special education teacher. Legal aspects is one class that's required before a provisional license can be obtained. So we are working with people who are already in our buildings to try to have them work on that, and our instructional assistants as well. So that, again, is recruitment from within.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, so our professional vacancies filled from July 1 through relatively current. There's a close-off date, obviously, for when we have to post this data. So we understand that today is February 9th. This is through January 26th. So there have been 13 new hires since the last time the Personnel Committee, and teachers, since the last time the Personnel Committee saw this report out. And so that's a number that we'll get to on the next slide in terms of why that's relevant when we talk about how many years of experience are coming into our division, but just to give you guys a minute with this data. Okay, so that number 13, this is what you're looking at. So of those 13 new hire teachers, these are the years of experience they're bringing. So 4 of those 13 have 0 to 2 years of experience, and so on down the list. So a pretty diverse population of range of years of experience there. we've got 2 coming in with 26 or more years of experience. So we'll do our best to keep this as updated for you as possible in real time, understanding that once we get into hiring season, these numbers are going to get real big. All right. So these are our support vacancies, and again, this is on trend with what we've seen over the last several months, with the exception of the full-time flex substitute. So at the end of last year, 2023, in December, the current board at the time, adopted the flex sub positions, and I believe there were 20 of those. So we've, by those numbers, filled 5. So that is a slight change from previous personnel committee meetings because we just created that position.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Frakley, if you don't mind, how long has that position been posted?
Yeah, beginning of January.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just want to provide context with having 15 vacancies, how long it's been posted.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, as I said, it was adopted in December, and then we implemented the posting in early January. So, not a month, maybe a little over. There's been a lot of great interest in that position, and the buildings seem to be very pleased with the fact that we're going to be able to staff a full-time resource. And this is just to support teachers, in-classroom teachers. It's not to sub in anywhere else within the building, but really just to provide that constant, reliable support. And we know it's more than one person per building. We know we're still utilizing our subs, but we're really working towards trying to address the substitute shortage that we have. Okay, so here's where we get into turnover. And I will say that the previous slide is our typical personnel committee staffing update. So this is a new piece of information that we're including for you all this evening. So this is our current turnover rate. You'll see the breakdown in the blue box for this year. Administration, 15%. Teachers, round up to 14%. Other professionals, 13%. And support, round up to 20%, for a total of 16%. And you can see the increase over the last several school years there. You have anything? You look like you're going to say
I'm
something.
going to risk it.
Go for it.
Do you have it broken down further by school?
We can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And support encompasses what now?
Everything else that isn't listed there. So you will see, what is it? Our nursing, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of our classified positions, school nutrition, custodians, facilities, bus drivers, transportation. The other professionals group is pretty specific. It's school psychologists and diagnosticians, so it's a very small group. Teacher group does include everyone on the teacher scale, so it's all of those instructional licensed positions, not just truly classroom teachers, so counselors, librarians, and so forth.
Thank you.
Dr. Harmer, anything you'd like to add to this before we move on, or questions? Any more questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Unless, Mr. Chair, unless anyone else has any questions.
All right, so recognizing that number that we're looking at, 16%, is not ideal. So everything that we're working towards in the HR department, which we're going to talk about our restructure and reorganization here in a minute, we're working towards lowering that number for a variety of reasons. We want to keep good people. We also know that there's a costly expense to high turnover. So the way that all of this plays in, all of these efforts, the big overarching comprehensive, thought process and strategy that goes into this decision making is all to help alleviate that turnover. Okay. So now we're going to talk about our department reorganization. If we would have showed this to you At the end of last year, it would have been a long straight line across the bottom and then 2 director positions. Now we have this beautiful structure in place where we are bringing on board a supervisor of recruitment and retention, and a supervisor of employee services. And so what this is designed to do is really give us that missing level of support, this level of support that we were missing between the folks, and you'll meet them here in a second, the folks that are just cranking out all of this hard work while we try to balance things like employee relations issues and being able to support our principals in buildings by addressing their immediate needs. It's not just the wheels turning on hiring and things like that. All of this plays into such a bigger machine, if you will, in terms of how we need to crank out all of this work. So really, really excited to have those positions. And just to give you some background and to set the stage for the fine folks you're going to meet here in a second, I want to give you a couple numbers here to really put it in perspective. Frederick County employs, public schools, employs a staff of just about 3,000 people on any given day. Human Resources is the internal customer service team charged with taking care of 3,000 individuals and their very individual needs. That's everyone, full-time, part-time, substitutes, everybody. Best practice for industry standards for HR staffing is roughly 1 HR professional for every 100 to 150 employees. Today, we have a team of 8, meaning that each one of our amazing HR staff members is responsible for serving the needs of approximately 375 employees. Thanks to some strategic creativity and collaboration, we were recently able to redesign the HR department in a way that enables us to better serve the needs of our customers, and our customers are our dedicated employees. When we add our 2 new supervisors to the team, that employee staff ratio drops to 300 employees for every 1 HR team member and gives us the critical layer of support that we have been missing. As a team, we work through benefits, medical leaves, substitute management, employee relations issues, licensure, hiring and onboarding, disability accommodations, all while trying to engage, recruit, and retain top talent that we need to teach our kids. As a division, we prioritize our people because our people are what make it possible for us to run our business. And our business is as essential as it gets, educating our children. We are in the business of educating the next generation of contributing citizens. We are a people organization, and HR is the heart of people operations. So with that, I'd love for you to meet this hardworking team. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Katie Frakely. I'm the new executive director. I started in May, so inching closer to being here for almost a year. And I would just like to say personally, before everybody comes up, it has been an absolute blessing and an honor to be working with this team. They have adopted me into their wolf pack so lovingly, and I just can't wait for them to tell you about themselves a little bit so that you can see all these people that are churning out this work for all 3,000 of our staff.
And I'm Kristen Campbell. I'm the Assistant Director of Human Resources, and I've been with Frederick County for about 5 years now. And it's been an amazing experience, and happy to be working with Katie under her leadership, and of course our wonderful team. So with that, I'll turn it over. Who gets to go first? Did you make, okay.
Hello, I'm Rachel Beinecker. I too have been here almost 5 years. I handle employee benefits, so it's going to be health care, life insurance. I also try and help our employees work with our retirement plans that we offer. I can't say enough about this team. They adopted me as well about 5 years ago. A wealth of knowledge and just a great team to work with. So I appreciate you guys and everything that you do. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jessica Brown, and I've been here for almost 10 years in August. I handle all the family medical leave, workers' comp, ADA accommodations, OSHA reporting, all that fun stuff. And I, too, am so grateful to be working with these people. I've never had so much fun with a job, ever. So, thank you.
Hello, I'm Rochelle. I've been here since 2017 in the HR department. I am employee engagement and retention, and I head up the employee awards and recognition program. I also help organize and manage the job fair that we do every year. I head up the hospitality committee here, and I do other things as well. I made a list: data analysis, entry collection, all of those things upon hire that need to be entered into our main employment system. And then I also do create efficiency-related practices within our department. And I'm the campaign manager for our county-wide United Way campaign. So I'm like in touch with everybody out there, all of our employees, from hire to all things fun with campaign items, hospitality items, Jersey days, all that. Yes. Chili cook-off is coming. Shh, that was a secret. Anyways, nice meeting you. Oh, and I want to say my son is an 8th grader over at Jameswood Middle School. My daughter graduated from Millbrook in 2018. So I've ran the gamut of Frederick County Public Schools from elementary to graduation, and it's been wonderful. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy Fink, and I guess I'm the person that has adopted all of these people because I have been here almost 36 years. I handle the employment. I handle all of the teacher licensure for the whole entire county, that from obtaining a license to actually ended up renewing that license. I handle the job postings, the job offers, and staffing for all of our schools, and any information that these guys need. I'm here, I'm a wealth of knowledge, so I try to help wherever I possibly can. I again want to echo what my other team members have said. It is a delight to work with these guys. We have so much fun. We have to laugh some days to keep from crying, but I have enjoyed every minute of it and don't plan to retire anytime soon. So thank you. So I appreciate every single one of you and everything that you do. Thanks.
Watch out, because I had to write mine up. So I'm Lisa Try. I'm one of the employment analysts in HR, and I'm working on my 21st year here with Frederick County Public Schools. It was a good move for me from being a legal secretary into this field. I really enjoy working with the school system, and I kind of focus on the Smart Find Express, which is our substitute absence management system, as well as our automated substitute call system. I really enjoy working that part of my job. I enjoy answering questions, guiding people, and onboarding our substitutes as well. So I just want to kind of focus on that and tell you a little bit about all the layers of our substitute system and substitutes themselves. So our database is made up of our employees' profiles, as well as their location, their work hours, and the classification in which they work. Our substitutes, their personal information is in there as well. It has their preference of the schools that they want to sub at, as well as in what capacity they want to sub for us. So that's what it's made up of. The system has, since its inception here with Frederick County Public Schools, it has been customized so that individuals can put in exactly what their absence will be. And that's all they're required to do at the schools and here in the departments. So it's set up to take an absence of a quarter of an hour to a full day absence. However, we have never had our bus drivers and bus aides as part of that system. So we have recently imported all of those folks, but we are working to customize or to re-customize Smart Find Express so that they can also do block absences. since our bus drivers would have a morning or an afternoon absence. So we're working on that and hope that they will be able to just do those easier absence call-ins as opposed to what they're doing currently. So we do currently have about 480 subs on board. And as you imagine, that is an ever-changing pool of active substitutes. So we constantly are accepting substitute applications. And those range from our college students who are going to just be subbing for us for spring break, winter breaks, what have you. Some of our best substitutes are retirees, and that covers all the areas of workforce that they have been in. And of course, it's a flexible schedule for many people, so that entices our substitutes. Our onboarding is kind of stringent in that they do have to do some prior training courses or modules that they have to do, the restraint and seclusion, child abuse. They have to submit 2 to 3 supervisory references. So I do come alongside them and kind of give them that guidance. We get a relationship going. I think it's worthwhile because then we have a better knowledge of, their work for what they're capable of when they get in front of that student body. So I do maintain a long-term substitute list, and a long-term substitute assignment would consist of 20 consecutive days or more. So the principals do reach out to me. I provide them a list of substitutes for the area they're looking for so that they have a pool to fill those vacancies or for someone's absence. The one thing about SmartFind Express is it does not currently communicate with our payroll system. So another part of my role as that administrator is I export the absences, the vacancies for that payroll period, have to do some manipulation, and then import them into the payroll system. And lastly, I do train SmartFind operators. There's one at each of the schools, one in each of our departments. They are the ones, that first set of eyes, who look at the vacancies, look at the absences, make certain that leave is being used properly, and they're not overcharged, what have you, and that our substitutes are getting paid correctly. And as an employment analyst, I back up and support Kathy in her role, and we make the professional, classified, and coach job offers, and I do the onboarding as well of those folks. Thank you.
Well, I get to go after Lisa. Thank you. Hi, I'm Carolyn Crawford. I've had the pleasure of working in human resources here at Frederick County Public Schools for a little over 7 years now. I have been part-time, which has been wonderful for me because I have children who have been going through school here at Frederick County. Recently, I went full-time, and my duties have been the range of everything from filing to answering the phones for the department. And I also assist our incredible team of analysts and our directors in any way I can. A lot of things fall under other duties as assigned, so we handle that in stride. I am the first face that you see when you come into the HR department. And I can promise you that when you do come into the department, I will greet you with a friendly smile. So, thank you.
All right, so this is a humble group, and I thank them profusely for doing this and introducing themselves to you and telling you all a little bit about themselves. I promise in no way were they bribed to come here and say how wonderful the HR department is. That was all of their own doing, so take that for what it's worth. Just want to touch on the fact that we're getting ready to introduce 2 new team members to this wolf pack here. which we are really excited about. But again, that is in purposeful design to support these people in their work, to support us in our work. So what we're really looking forward to is getting the right people in the right positions for those two positions, supervisor of recruitment and retention. So we didn't have a dedicated focus per se on recruiting and retention. This is to laser focus that. We need to be intentional, we need to be strategic, and we need that leadership in place to do that. And under that, you know, working with our amazing employment team, we now have dedicated resources to engagement and retention. It's not just the recruitment part, which is, as we know and we've seen, hard and difficult, as less and less people are deciding to go through even being in the field of teaching. We're losing people to, employment outside of education. But what are we doing that is intentional to keep the amazing, wonderful, hardworking staff that we have here in Frederick County in their jobs, engaged, loving coming to work, being their best, showing up every day for our students? So what can we do to be really intentional about that? And that was the reason why we shifted that side of the department. That was on purpose. Supervisor of Employee Services. So when we talk about Supervisor of Employee Services, a lot of times this could fall under like operations or employee relations. To us, that sounded a little bit cold. We are everything that you just heard. We are the first face you're going to see of Frederick County. We're trying to get you to come work with us, and we want you to stay working with us. So we are here in service of you. Our customers are our employees. And so really that's what we wanted to hone in on, is being in service to our employees. And that means that we are going to be able to dedicate more resources to our building level principals in their support, where Kristen and I might be working on more strategic initiatives. This supervisor can now step in and help us with employee relations, help us get into buildings and really give our leadership in buildings that one-to-one support that they really need as we work through things like leave absences and things like the extensive benefits and things that you saw. We have one person doing benefits for 3,000 people. So this was done intentionally to provide that support to our analysts, as well as provide that support to the directors. So we're really, really excited about what's coming up for us. Okay, any questions about that?
Mr. Chairman? I guess you're starting interviews soon, next week.
Yes.
What's your goal date to have them hired?
Yesterday.
Okay. Second question.
Yes.
Are they part of the proposed budget, or how are they in, which budget are they in, or how are they
Right.
in the budget?
Great question. So we were able to get creative in terms of positions that had sort of gone unfilled, I guess, and rework those from another department. For one of the positions, we actually had a vacancy. We had the wonderful human that was doing recruiting for us and substitute management. She actually left to go to Loudoun. And so with that said, that opened another vacancy. And so getting creative in looking at what we could do with our assistant position and taking that full time. Perhaps we were able to rework having more resources in the administrative assistant level, plus the vacancy, plus the creativity and reworking in collaboration with another department. We were able to do this without adding any positions.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So we went over this a little bit, not a little bit, we went over this in full in October. You all weren't here yet. So we're gonna show you what all of this hard work has turned into, thanks to the team and Rochelle. Done an amazing bang-up job in rolling out a new awards and recognition program in conjunction with lots of feedback from Dr. Hummer, which we are thankful for. So prior to this new rollout this year, we were not recognizing Principal of the Year, Assistant Principal of the Year, or Counselor of the Year, or First Class Teacher of the Year. First Class Teacher being a teacher in their first year of teaching. And Rochelle, you just speak up if I'm getting this wrong, so please. But because we know that it is absolutely critical to recognize and reward the amazing efforts of our outstanding staff, we've added these categories to the program, and then are expanding even further by recognizing a Principal of the Year in an elementary and one for secondary. So these are all the categories. And with that, there will be monetary awards associated with each category. We've been able to streamline the nomination and application process, which we hope is helping those who are doing that legwork on the backside of the process. And we're really excited because not only is the nomination process internal, we've also turned some of those categories over to the community to nominate. So we're really trying hard to engage our community as well, where, you know, they're just as much a part of seeing what our schools are doing as anybody. So whether you've got kids or not, if you're hearing good things, please nominate or feel free to participate in the nomination process. That's closed for this time period, this go round, but next go round. Did you have a question?
Not yet.
Okay,
Soon.
I'm ready, or we're ready, I guess. But just to let you guys know, and you'll be invited, I'm sure, we'll have 2 recognition ceremonies at the end of the year, one for the professional group and another one for support staff. And I know Chairman Funes asked me about the support staff and all of that recognition. So under support staff recognition, or the Service Personnel of the Year, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more categories to recognize those service personnel, so that we're just trying to get everybody.
So how does that look? That was
terms
my
of-
question. The service personnel, how many departments?
Oh, okay. So facilities, services staff, custodial staff are in one group. The gala, you'll see a pattern here in a second. Instructional assistants, teaching assistants, behavioral assistants, bus aides, or Macintosh. School nutrition services staff, Rome. Office support staff, information technology staff, media staff, interpreters, York. Student support staff, social workers, behavior specialists, therapists, Fuji.
So you don't want to compare apples to oranges?
Exactly. So it's really cute how they're broken down by the apples, Winchester, all the things. We're in apple country. But yeah, again, like I said, just really trying hard to capture and recognize as many as we can for their hard work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
And thank you
noticed
to
there's no
Rochelle.
superintendent of the year.
Right. Yes.
I don't need that.
Used to put his,
I'm sorry. It's Friday.
that's right,
You've
that's
got
right.
me here, you've got me here.
It's Friday. What questions can we answer for you guys about this while we have the subject matter expert on hand? Anything? I'm okay with that.
No, we're good.
All right. Sounds good. Now, I'm going to turn it over to my esteemed colleague to talk about policies.
Thank you. I know this is going to be the most exciting portion of the meeting. But we are bringing 2 policies to you to consider for amendments. We're going to begin with Policy 506. This policy really lays out our process, our grievance process, and our Title IX process. If anyone has a grievance, they can file a complaint, and this policy lays out what the steps will be. Currently, the policy names the Assistant Director of Administration. What is yours?
Assistant Superintendent.
Thank you.
Say it 5 times fast.
Yes. Assistant Superintendent of Administration. However, we wanted to kind of revamp our policy, make it sort of flesh it out a little bit more. And the proposed amendments will name the Executive Director of Human Resources as the compliance officer, and the alternate compliance officer will be the Assistant Director of Human Resources.
Seems to make more sense.
We have also added another level of appeal. So currently, what would happen is the assistant superintendent would serve as the compliance officer, would make a finding, and then it would be appealed to the superintendent, and then it could be appealed to the school board. However, we've inserted another level to where it begins with a compliance officer, then it can be appealed to the assistant superintendent, then to the superintendent, then to the school board. And it also just clarifies the process a little bit more than what it had. Part of that clarification is the definition of days. Work days, school days, business days are currently used pretty interchangeably throughout the policy. We wanted to tighten that up. We define business day, we define calendar day, and those are the only two types of days that are in the policy. And so that hopefully will make it easier for our staff to understand exactly when the timelines begin and when they end. Additionally, this policy mirrors almost exactly 429P, which is the student version. But because of that, it really had the same language. They both had the same language. The personnel referred to students and to the educational environment and vice versa. So this policy removes that language and makes it clear that this policy applies to our personnel. And I would like, because that policy was actually, the 429P policy, which applies to students, was presented to the instructional committee last night. It was brought to my attention afterwards. I referred to the amendment as the amendment's changing the compliance officer to the director of human resources. That was incorrect. Just wanted to, this policy will make the compliance officer the executive director of human resources. 429P will make the compliance officer the assistant, the director of student support services. So sorry, we've got 4 policies going on. 2 of them mirror each other. It's been kind of difficult to juggle. Any questions in regards to 506P? Okay, great.
Just really quick, Mr. Chair, just for you all and the public and those in the audience, just keep in mind we do have this listed in board docs with the red line. This is just a summary of each of these policies. So I just want to make sure that you're aware, and if you have any questions prior to the next board meeting, to please let us know.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. And so the next policy that we'll be looking at is 504P. This policy is our Equal Employment Opportunity Non-Discrimination Policy. It references our compliance procedure that's laid out in 506P, and again, it names the current compliance officer as the Assistant Superintendent. The only amendment that we're proposing to 504P would be to name the compliance officer as the Executive Director of Human Resources and the alternate compliance officer as the Assistant Director of Human Resources. Be happy to, and again, those red lines are also provided on board docs, so you can take a look, but I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Very good.
Okay. So here's a summary of all the wonderful things we just talked about. Happy to answer any questions from you, Ms. Klein, anything you guys might have. Just.
Now we have to do action on them, right?
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Chair, we do have 2 items that need to go for consideration to the full board for approval.
We do have 2 action items before us. The first one is regarding the policy update 506P. Do I have a motion?
I motion. So motioned.
Any discussions?
If we can get a second,
We need a
Mr.
second.
Chair.
Oh, second.
We are motioning to bring this to the full
Excuse me.
board.
Full board for
Right.
approval. Go ahead, Mrs. Jordan.
I will second that.
I'm sorry, if we could clarify the motion, I believe there was a reference to the policy update to 506P. I was trying to track along if we could just make sure we're clear about what the motion
Sure.
actually is.
I make a motion for the policy update 506P to move forward to the full board.
Thank you.
Second it.
Discussion.
Any discussion? The motion passes. All in favor?
Yeah, there we go.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The second action item regarding the policy update, 504P. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move that we put policy update 504P before the full board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Oh, boy, yes. I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion has been made and properly seconded.
I think we should stay here a while.
Sturdivant?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm
We are adjourned.
Thank you.